All right, keep getting this message here. And we are live. Thank you for watching, stopping by Indie Dave Comics, the Indie Hour. I, of course, am your host, Indie Dave. We have with us, is it fair to call you a comic book legend?
No.
No? Okay. We have with us Mike Barron, who has been writing comics for a long time. So please tell us, for those of us in the chat who don't know who Mike Barron is, why don't you give us a little bit of history?
I broke into comics in 1981 when I met Steve Rude, and we created Nexus, a science fiction comic that takes place 500 years in the future. It's won every major award, and it's still being published. Dark Horse will release New Nexus next year. I also created Badger in 1982, and that's coming out now and then. I wrote The Punisher for Marvel, Flash for DC, Star Wars for Dark Horse. I have a bunch of new projects in the works, one of which is Offworlder, as you know. And I am trying to get a new Badger series going. I also write novels. I just moved to a new publisher, Wolfpack, and they've published all my Josh Pratt novels. Josh Pratt novels are hard-boiled crime about a reformed motorcycle hoodlum who goes to prison, finds God, comes out and tries to turn his life around. So far, there's 6 complete, and Wolfpack just released the first one now. It's called Biker by Mike Barron, and it's on Amazon. They'll all be on Amazon. And it's about how Josh gets involved with a dogfighting ring. The second one, Sons of Privilege, is about the smiley face murders. And if you don't know what they are, Google them. They're about college athletes, outstanding athletes, found drowned after a night of drinking. And in each case, a smiley face was painted on a wall nearby. The third one is Not Fade Away. And it's about a woman who hires Josh to prove that she's the owner of a favorite song, a famous song. And the fourth one, Sons of Bitches, is about a woman who puts out a Muhammad comic. The fifth one, Buffalo Hump, is about a charismatic Sioux blues Indian musician who elects to open a casino in South Dakota, and he has people who want him dead because they don't think that he should be supporting a casino. The sixth one, Bloodline, is how Josh joins a group of paramilitary bikers who steal weapons for a living. And the seventh, Unfortunate Son, is about how Josh's worthless father, who abandoned him, comes to Josh's house to stay.
Cool. Well, you got a lot going on.
I don't know how they get written. It seems like I don't do anything.
All right, so the book you're doing right now, the comic you're doing right now is Offworlder. Let me pull that up real quick. Let's do that. All right, tell us about Offworlder.
All right. This was Ben Henderson's idea. Ben approached me with the idea of cautionary comics, something he always wanted to do. Offworlder, 7th century Scotland. Henry Gunn leads his clan in a ferocious battle with Viking invaders. But with victory in sight, he is ripped from space and time by an alien race. The Anunnaki seek a champion to stop another alien race from conquering all known space. Aided by the Egyptian goddess Sarah, Gunn undergoes a hideous transformation, becoming something other than human, able to move through time and space at will, yet unable to save his wife and child. The fate of civilization rests on the shoulders of a troubled demigod. In the tradition of The Stars, My Destination, and The Silver Surfer, Offworlder is a star-spanning science fiction saga that will keep you riveted from first page to last. I think I'm going to have a beer.
That's a good idea. All right. Yeah. So this is one of the books last year. I remember Ben was talking about after I backed Ravage, and I saw as soon as I saw there was a guy in a kilt in space, I was like, yeah, I'm there.
we thought of calling it Kilts in Space.
Oh man. So right now you are at 7,776.
Yeah.
You're 25% of gold. Let's see. Let's just look at your perks real quick. Let's see. Rare metal cover for $100. Let's see. We got 11 of those.
I just want to say that the real premium is the story itself. Once you read this comic, it's going to seem like all other comics aren't even trying. And I say that because I've spent a long time learning how to write, and I'm pretty confident that my whole thing is grabbing readers by the throat and dragging them into the narrative to the exclusion of all else. That's what I want to do, and that's what I do. And when I'm saying there's no wasted space, you're not going to come to a panel that doesn't serve any purpose or pretty poses. Every panel adds to the story. Well, what is story? It's a dynamic narrative featuring sympathetic characters whose fate is not yet known. And the question in all fiction is, what happens next? And the thing about Offworlder is, you will be dying to know.
That's super cool.
Sounds really neat.
Yeah, oh man, I'm a big fan. This looks really cool.
And you've seen the art.
Yes, I absolutely have. It's one of the things that really grabbed me on this. Now, who's your artist on this?
Jordi Armengol.
Jordi Armengol.
Mm-hmm.
Now is he? I don't know anything about him. Is he new, or did you just kind of?
No, he's not new. He's been working in European comics for decades.
Oh, okay.
Jordi lives in Spain, but I've never seen his work like this before. Nobody has. There's nothing to compare it to except maybe when Barry Smith exploded on Conan the Barbarian, or when Jim Lee first appeared. And I mean, we could print that comic in black and white, and it would be stunning.
We don't want that. This is color. This is it's a gorgeous cover. We love this. Let's see. Jordan, there we go. Jordi Armengol. All right, and this is Narwhal, right?
Narwhal. I believe he's a one-horned sea creature. and honestly, I don't know how he creates art with just one horn.
This is pretty cool. He's I know a little bit about him. We're just kind of going over some of this art here. I love this. I love the look of this, and like I said, I'm super excited. Now, is pretty much everything in Cautionary Comics kind of linked a little bit?
Well, certain titles are. For instance, we're working on a title called The Wraith, mm-hmm. which I also wrote, which in a way is a mirror image to Offworlder. Offworlder is the good guy, the Wraith is the bad guy, but he's a troubled bad guy, and he's interesting. I mean, he's not one-dimensional. All these characters are three-dimensional, and they will hook up later on down the road. But the story that I wrote is an origin story for the Wraith.
Wow, that's cool. I had your artist for Florida Man on last night.
God, what's going on there? Are you body slamming someone?
No, my daughter keeps moving around in her chair while she's drawing. So she's scraping it up against the floor. It's all right. Yeah, this is so good. Let's see. So tell us about Cautionary Comics. I know you guys all got together and you put that whole company together.
Well, I've done nothing but write. It's all Ben's idea. Ben Henderson. He's a well-known security analyst. He's been working for years. But it was always Ben's dream to create his own comic book character, and he's been writing his whole life. He wrote a couple of screenplays, and I believe that Offworlder is based on one of them. So as far as Ben's universe, I know about Offworlder, I know about the Wraith, and I know about a line for younger readers that he and Chuck are creating. Mm-hmm. And of course, Florida Man will be part of the Cautionary universe. But I created Florida Man, and Ben's just nice enough to let us use his company.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, I'm just scrolling through all this. This looks oh my god, I cannot wait for this one. Yeah, I did Ravage. I backed that one, and
we expect this will go a lot smoother.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, this is.
Well, look, we already got 24 pages.
Yeah, this is man. All right, let's. There we go. Look at that.
It's a home.
I think that's one of the first images I saw when he was talking about it last year.
Oh, sorry. This is my dog, Mac. Sorry, Mac. She's a reluctant star. See her?
Oh, hold on. Let me get over there.
You know, I don't know what I'm doing yet. She could be.
There she is.
All right, she's here, so I'm showing you here. All right, Mac, you go down now. She licked me on the tongue. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we get a big a Cane Corso, which is a big Italian Mastiff, and she will lick you all over.
Great.
Yeah, she's super friendly. All right, so we're doing pretty well on Offworlder. If you're in the chat, let me monitor, see if we got anybody. Let's see. Oh, we got the Metal, and we got Rusty Dale. We got a few in there. If you guys haven't backed, make sure you're. Hey, Metal, if you could throw the link out to Offworlder, that'd be great. Yeah, make sure you guys are backing this book because I know all these cautionary books are looking really good. And Florida Man, Mulrooney, he was on here last night. He was describing the concept, and it sounded hilarious.
Did he give you the blurb?
A little bit, but why don't you give it to me too?
Yeah. Gary Duba's having a bad day. There's a snake in his toilet, a rabid raccoon in the yard, and his girl Crystal's in jail for getting naked at a Waffle Hut and licking the manager. So Gary sets off with his best friend Floyd to sell his prized Barry Bonds rookie card to raise the $500 for bail. But things get out of hand.
Yeah, wow. And I guess all the little bits are actual stuff that were in newspapers.
Everything. It's got alligators. It's got pythons. It's got it's just, I don't want to go into this because it sounds so risible and offensive, but it's not. It's a delightful comic. It's heartwarming. It's both what you think it is and it's not what you think it is. But yes, it does involve as many Florida man tropes as I could work in.
That's awesome. Yeah, we like all that stuff. Let's see. Who else we got? We got Matthew Reese in the chat. Let's see. And he says, let's see, there he is. Matthew Reese says he's getting out of hand. It's getting out of hand. Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for showing up here. El Gargoyle, what's up, guys? Hey, thanks for showing up. So we got. I know we got a few up and coming comics writers here, and what kind of advice can you give us for learning? Like where did you learn to write? Did you self-taught? Did you go to school? English class, that stuff?
I took a few writing courses in college, but my first job out of college was smoking dope for the government.
Oh, that's awesome.
I moved to Boston. I was accepted for a study by Harvard University, and I forget some government agency. But we lived on a ward in a hospital for a month, and we smoked government dope every day, and we took tests all day long. It was just like college. So when I got out, I wrote that up for the Boston Phoenix, and that's how I broke into journalism. I wrote for newspapers for about 10 years. I listened to a lot of music. I was on the entertainment beat, and I was always writing. I always just wanted to write fiction. That was my dream. And I wrote a few short stories back then. I even sold a couple. But it took me 30 years to learn how to write a novel. And that's not because a novel is difficult to master. It's because I'm a slow learner. But I did get it. So to would-be writers, I would say this. A writer is somebody who has to write. So if you're writing every day, or at least 5 days a week, you're a writer. But if you're not a writer and you're thinking about it, don't kid yourself. I also feel that every would-be writer has a million words of horse shit clogging up his system, and that you have to get that out before you get to the good stuff. Now, to me, there are three rules for writing. Number one, the writer's job is to entertain. Number two, show, don't tell. And number three, be original.
That's awesome. Yeah. Matthew Reese actually asked, he must have missed the beginning. He asked if there's any more Badger in the works.
Well, yeah. I mean, we did put out a series 5 years ago that's available from First. And I'm talking with First now. We're trying to get something going. But First is a very small boutique company with very little resources. So we have to find a way to finance it and juggle it. And so we'll see. But if it happens, everybody's going to know. It's already written.
Okay. Yeah, I remember First, like when I was collecting back in the day. I don't think I haven't seen anything from First in a long time.
Well, Dave, we'll talk about that off camera later on.
Okay. I don't want to get anybody in any trouble.
Well, no, it's fine. In fact, I should mention it. We did put out a 5-issue series a couple of years ago. It was called the Battle of the Five Wizards. And in it, Badger fights Putin. And in fact, I'm going to post the cover to your Facebook page right now.
Oh, okay. Let's see. I'm not on my Facebook page, so it
Well,
might.
I'm already posting there.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. I got Reese says he has that one. Matthew Reese in the chat. So he's definitely got
Good. Thank you, Matthew.
So
See, there it is. Putin on the cover.
all right. Let's see. So I'll have to pull up my Facebook. Let's see. Facebook. All right. So what was that one about while I'm pulling this up?
The Battle of the Five Wizards. Well, the wizards start falling.
Oh, there it is. I got it right here. Let me pop it in there. Now that I got it up, it took me less time than I thought it would. Let's see. Share. And there it is. Look at that. Now, who'd you get on art on that?
Vale my Eric.
That looks pretty cool. Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen him, I remember as a kid seeing Badger on all the time, and it was because I was always when I started, the first comics I were collecting were Ninja Turtles and that kind of stuff. I really wasn't into the Marvel stuff, so I remember being in with all the indie type stuff back when I first started collecting. Yeah. Now and now that I'm back into comics, I haven't really collected in a while. I got back into it a few years ago. I'm not even into the big two anymore.
I haven't looked at a comic in years. Well, I look at my friends' comics that they send me, but it's just it's not the comics. It's me. I'm just more interested in novels these days.
Okay, so let's see. We got that one. That looks pretty cool. All right. Let's get back.
I was just saying, in reading them, I'm always interested in making comics.
Yeah, so that's, oh man. All right, so we got Offworlder. We got, like I see, Florida, Maine. And we're waiting on Badgers coming out. That's going to be cool.
Well, I just say that I have a Badger in development.
Mhm.
That is now there are no plans to publish. That's what we're working on, is to get plans to publish. But there will be new Nexus next year. That's already a done deal.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's cool as hell too. We like Nexus. Let me see here. Oh, back in the chat. We got Tank Ferret. Hi, everybody.
Tank Ferret.
Yeah, Tank Ferret's in the chat. That sounds like a cool. I want to see a Tank Ferret. All right. Matthew Reese says the Architect is awesome.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Yeah. Let's see. I know you did a lot of Punisher, right?
Yep.
Back in the day. Oh, that Punisher was that's my jam right there. Yeah, Punisher was my jam right there. What? Yeah, she needs to go out. Yeah, that's the big one wanting to go out right now. Oh man. Yeah, Tank Ferret says, hi Mike and Indy Dave. Hey Tank Ferret. Let's see. All right. So let's see. So let's go back to Offworlder real quick. I want to go over the tiers because there's a lot going on there.
Again, I have to emphasize that the greatest premium is the story itself.
Yeah. Oh, that's And that's as a writer, as a new writer. We're hoping to get our first book out here this year. That one of the hard things as a writer is getting people to recognize your work over the art, and not that people shouldn't not appreciate the art, but as a writer, it's a lot harder to get your name out there. Let's see. Oh, I was going to go back over Offworlder. Yeah, let's. Oh, there we go. All right, so let's go over these tiers again because there's a lot. Oh, holy mackerel! All right, so we got the Ravage thing. There we go. Digital copy, $10. Like again, for all you guys in the chat, if you haven't checked out Offworlder, if you haven't backed it, definitely you need to check this book out. The art's amazing. It's got some. It sounds just awesome. And again, space kilt. That's what really got me. I'm like, oh, they got a Scottish guy in space. Let's see, newsprint. You can get it on newsprint now, and that's really cool. A really cool thing. So that's one of the things everybody, we want to get the books, and we want, for this crowdfunding thing. One of the big complaints is, well, the books are $20, but you're getting more pages, and you're getting a good quality book for that price. But now we've got the newsprint, and for those of us who can't, well, I've backed everything at $20, $25, $35. But for those that are like, man, I really need to help my pocketbook a little bit, getting the newsprint copy, $10, that's a good deal. Let's see, they got the Offworlder crossover newsprint, so that's with the Mike Miller deal crossover. Let's see, Lone Star and Ravage. There we go. Offworlder #1. Your physical copy is going to be $25.
But that's for a 48-page story.
Yeah.
And I think that they're going to offer a newsprint edition for $10.
Yeah, I think we saw that one early on. So yeah, so that again, $10 for your 48 pages. It's a sweet deal. And like I said, if you've read Ravage, if you've read any of other Mike's works, you're getting good stuff. You're getting good quality.
Chuck Dixon wrote Ravage.
Yeah.
Chuck's a very good writer.
Yeah, so I
know he's such a good writer. I hate him, and I must destroy him.
Yes, so you got to get Offworlder to beat Ravage, although they're both good books. I'm sure. Well, I haven't seen it yet, but it's a good book, guys. You need to get it. Let's see. We get the Offworlder 1 in the crossover. That's both the high quality print over the newsprint. Again, $45. It's 2 books, plus you're getting that Mike Miller crossover with it. So there's maybe tiers. What are you doing now? Dogs let themselves in, and then they leave the door open so the cats can get out. All right. Oh, there we go. And we're back. All right. So so everybody, you need to get Offworlder. Anything by Cautionary Comics right now. Mike Barron's writing for him, and you get Chuck Dixon over there too, and Ben Hennessy, and all those good guys over there. All right. So let's. All right. You already told us about. Oh man, you got novels coming out. Man, you are a busy guy.
I don't. Again, it's a mystery to me. It just seems that I spend my time goofing off and avoiding work, but yet these books keep getting written.
All right. So how long does it take you to knock out a novel generally?
Well, it depends. I had a very sleepless winter, and I had trouble sleeping, and because of that, I wrote the Nexus novel in about 2 months.
Oh wow, that's a lot of pounding on the keyboard.
Well, I have a system. And that's every time I sit down, I have to write at least 1,000 words. Dark Horse will publish the Nexus novel next year.
All right. So that's another one to look out for is the Nexus novel by Dark Horse. Let's see. And who you said all your other stuff's available on Amazon?
Yes.
Do you have like your own Mike Barron page?
No, I'm all over the place. Liberty Island is publishing Disco. That's a heartwarming tale for the whole family. And I wrote it because my wife said, I can't read any of your books. They're too horrible. Could you write something I could read? So Disco is about a boy who trains a mongrel pup to be world disc dog champion. And then I have a number of horror novels out with Wordfire Press. And that's Kevin J. Anderson, the great science fiction writer. And one of those, Banshees, is about a satanic rock band that comes back from the dead. It's my biggest novel, and it will grab you by the throat. So, once you start reading it, you can kiss sleep goodbye for however long it takes to finish that novel. Then I have one called Scorpio, which is about a ghost who only appears under a blazing sun, and that's pretty good too. So I got a bunch of horror novels out. I really love horror, but right now I'm working on other stuff. I don't see horror in the picture, although I have ideas. Those are my horror novels, and they're pretty horrible.
Well, that's good. I know we're trying to get a lot of. I know because there's a lot of actual horror comics coming out by different writers, and it seems like it's hard for them to find an audience. I mean, there's the horror people there, but I guess I don't know. Maybe horror comics aren't as popular as they used to be.
No, they're popular, but I have to point out that comics is the worst medium for horror. And the reason is that the monster you picture in your mind, when Stephen King describes it, is much worse than anything that they can put on a piece of paper. And it's just a piece of paper. Horror just doesn't work on paper. Hey, how can people join this this group here? I have a friend who wants to join. Do I just give him the link to the
you want
to the hangout?
You want him to come on with us?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Send him the link that I sent you.
All right, hang on. Where's that? Oh, I know where it is. Hang on.
Hey, for all you guys that left early, we got a surprise guest that I didn't even know about.
All right. Well, keep going. I mean,
Yeah.
Don't wait for me. Don't wait for me.
Yeah, I retweeted thinking I was sending out the link to the chat, and I accidentally sent out the link to come in, and I had to delete it real quick. I didn't realize I hadn't. I didn't realize I had posted it until I looked at it. So let's see. All right, so how into the? I mean, I know it's your book that you're crowdfunding. How much are you involved as opposed to Ben as far as taking care of all the details?
Well, Ben's taking care of the details. If I knew how to take care of details, I'd be a rich man by now. But, I'm the least tech-wise person you ever saw. I have a flip phone. I like gasoline vehicles that you shift by hand. And it's a miracle I can use this computer. It's just a miracle that I found my way to this chat room.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows. Excuse me. We do a lot of shows where I do we'll get some guys who have successfully crowdfunded, and then we get another guy who's about to drop his crowdfund, and as a group we kind of he tells us what his plans are, and we just kind of give him do's and don'ts, and what our opinions on crowdfunding and stuff. And it looks, I mean, everybody's always doomsaying the big two and stuff, and it looks like this crowdfunding is really getting bigger and bigger. And have you had any of these kind of issues with people, these kind of SJW kind of people, putting you down and trying to shut you down?
Yes.
That's pretty much why you see this little frog face on. Because if comics were my full-time job and I didn't look like a hairy potato, then I'd have my own face up here. I got another full-time job, and I can't have people calling my work over comic books.
Sure.
Oh man. So we're. I mean, the indie scene. I mean, there's always been an indie scene, but it seems, and maybe it's just because I'm in the bubble. It seems like it's really taken off now. A lot of people seem angry with the bigger two.
I know, but that's not enough to sustain an industry. The independents have to produce strong story material, and that's what cautionary is all about. And I've seen a number of crowdfunded comics that were successfully crowdfunded that aren't that memorable, and I don't want to see that, because the future of crowdfunding depends on the quality of the books.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's the complaint. If they're trying to come over to the indies from the big two, then they better get something that's better.
A lot better, and that's easy to do, because I don't read whole Marvel or DC comics, but I read a lot of excerpts that people show me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. That's all.
Well, that's basically, and we'll see when my comic comes out if I've accomplished that. But because like I said, I was out of reading comics for a while, and I never really was. I mean, I used to write, but I never thought I'd write for comic books. And then I got out of it doing regular work, doing actual 9 to 5 stuff, and I started watching Zach's videos, Diversity in Comics, and I was listening to some of the criticisms he had and some of the stuff he was showing on his channel, and I was like, I can write better than that. So now it's time to put up or shut up. So that's what. So we got this little comic oddity that we're working on, and that's what we're hoping to put that out. I think it's looking good. We're pretty optimistic for dropping the Indiegogo in a couple of months.
Great.
Maybe before the end of the year.
Show some art.
Yeah. Oh, I got some. Well, I'm not the artist. I'm the writer. If you want to see some art, I got a little bit. I guess everybody wants to see a little bit of art. So let me show a little bit of what we got here. Basically, I came on as the writer when his previous writer. Oh, that's some script. That's not some art. Uh-oh. Hold on. I don't think I have any art up. It's going to take me a second. Yeah. I guess I shut down the Dropbox with all my art. I usually have it up here.
Don't worry about it. Post it on your Facebook page. We'll see it.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll have to get to it a little bit later because it's going to take me a while to get to it. But yeah, so he was drawing this character here that you see on my face, and his other writer, I guess, wasn't into it, so he called around and he asked me. I was like, yeah, and he gave me basically a few pages, and he asked me, he's like, hey, could you write for that? I'm like, yeah, sure. I was like, what's the story? He's like, you know what? Just look at what I got and put a script down. See, he wanted to hear what I had to, how I would interpret it. And so I looked at it and I was like, oh, that, and I kind of put my ideas down, how what I would have put here, and how I would lay out the panels a little bit different than what he did to tell the story a little better. And he was like, yeah, that's cool, man. He really liked it. And a lot of people right now, we're getting a lot of good feedback, and it's looking really good for us, I think.
Great. Good luck.
Yeah. Like I said, usually I have the Dropbox up. I don't know why I didn't put it. Why I don't have it up now? With all the art. So let's see. Hold on. All right. So let's see what we got going on in the chat. Let's see. Oh, Tank Ferret liked and shared. Good. That's what we need to do. We need to get more people in here, guys. Let's see. We got 6 people watching, which is actually, that's about average for me. We're a smaller channel trying to build up our numbers here. Let's see. So let me see if I can, I want to see if I can find that art real quick. I don't know why I would have closed it. All right, there's my art. So there's a little bit. There we go. I got one of the new pages, actually. We can show this. This is my artist, Mr. Sweens. This is one of his latest pages. There we go. This So this is a character. What I love about the character is that he draws it. It looks like a sprung rubber band. Just about the way he draws it is so dynamic. And yeah, and it's about a guy who's kind of he's been designated without his real wanting to be. He's kind of reluctant guardian of the swamp, and he's not real responsible because he's kind of a wise ass. And while he's out doing something to guard this, to scare people off the swamp, he screws up, and and he causes a greater danger, and he has to learn to kind of embrace his role as the guy who's guarding the swamp. And he's got one of his mentor, his Obi-Wan, is this big fly that's like the size of a bird, and it talks to him, and it's the one that's trying to teach him, hey, this is how you got to be. You got to.
That's great.
Yeah. So so that's and then we got a hot chick in it. Of course, you got to have some little eye candy, and she's not the damsel in distress, but we did everything we could not to make her a Mary Sue. She's gonna she's smart, but she's not good at absolutely everything, which seems to be the thing nowadays, where you can't make them bad at stuff, or it's something that really bugs me, is when you've got a character that's just good at everything and everybody loves them all the time. Oh man. All right. So anybody else in the chat? Oh, it looks like Tank Ferret's got to leave now. Oh,
Stop right there, Tank Ferret. I'm
Yeah.
making a citizen's arrest. Hey, did you know it was National Cassowary Month?
Here?
Everywhere.
Wow. Cassowary month?
Yeah,
I never thought one of those things deserved a whole month.
I know. It's shocking, isn't it?
Those are those big, mean Australian birds, right?
Yeah. They'll
They-
kill you. One peck and it's all over.
Yeah, they got like a freaking like a battering ram on their head or something.
They killed one killed its owner in Florida last month. That's why it's National Cassowary Month, in celebration of this brave bird fighting back against the patriarchy.
It should be Cassowary Awareness Month.
Yes, it is.
Oh man. All right, so you got, let's see. Yeah, so all right, so we're waiting for your friend to show up.
Well, I have no friend showing up.
Oh, he's not coming?
No, couldn't get in.
All right. Like the link not work, or
Nah, he's probably tech wise like me. I don't know. I'm gonna find out though.
Yeah, all right. All righty. Well, let's see. Well, we've been on for an hour, and it is the indie hour.
Okay, Dave, I gotta sign off.
Oh, absolutely. If that's what you got to do. Thanks for showing up. I really appreciate
Thanks for
it.
having me, and I'd love to be on again.
Yeah,
If you'll have-
absolutely. Well, we want you know what? When we come in one of these group chats, you're absolutely invited.
Okay, just sending a link.
These other artists. Everybody back Offworlder. Check out everything from Cautionary Comics, and check out anything Mike Barron's ever done. Thank you
Thanks,
again
Dave.
for showing up. All right, and you have a good night.